Okay, today I'm going to show you how to use a couple of the great functions on opposing viewpoints in context. I know you're working on your protest project, so this is going to be a valuable database for you. I think there'll be great resources there. And over the last couple of years, they've added some great features that make research much easier for you. So I've gone ahead and done a couple things before you came in, but first of all, I signed in with my Google account, which I recommend you doing. If you'd prefer to use Microsoft, you're welcome to do that as well. I also have opened up my Google Drive, which I will be using, and I've opened up a blank Word document, which I've titled Works Cited. This I will add to my paper toward the end and use that as my Works Cited page. I'll explain a little bit more about that. But first, I'm going to start with searching for an issue I know you are not allowed to use. So this will not be giving away anything great, but we'll just go with abortion. There's going to be plenty of information on that. So as you're doing your research, you're going through, I highly recommend going to valuable, useful things that sound like they will fit in with what you need to do. So NPR is always reliable. I prefer academic journals and primary sources, so I'll give you a couple examples here about use of medicines changing the face of abortion. You think that sounds good? Go ahead and click on that. If you read through it, you see that this is going to be useful. You have a couple great things that you can do here. First one I want to point out is you can download it. Again, you have your options. I'm logged into Google. I'm going to use Google Drive, so I'm just going to download it to Google Drive. You wait a minute. Yeah, there you go. And it's already there. So I'm not going to go there yet because I want to show you a couple other things. So another really handy thing is the citation tools. I know some of you use EasyBib, NightCite, things like that. That's perfectly fine. You can also use these, and they have been somewhat sketchy in the past. They've gotten better over the last few years as well. You can download it, but if you do that, you'll see that when you open it up, it's basically something you're going to need to copy and paste anyway. So rather than download it, I would recommend just copying it. You have your Word document here. Just make sure you choose the merge formatting. You've already got this set up, Times New Roman 12 point. Sure, there are other things you remember. You're going to need to change the hanging indent. And generally speaking, with the databases, you do not need the URL as long as you have the rest. So I would just cut that out as well. So you have that. The other things you need to look for, again, they're not always perfect. So clearly the capitalization needs to be fixed here. I'll let you deal with that in a bit. But just always check that. Make sure that it's done accurately. It's only going to give you what you copy. So you have to make sure that what you're copying is correct and accurate. So I now have that downloaded. If you really want to see, you go to your Google Drive, it'll open up this new folder for opposing viewpoints and context. Open that up. There's the article. So I can read this in my own time, things like that. It's obviously got the information. You'll also notice if you don't cite it at that time, if you go down, they also always have the source citation at the bottom, from which again you could copy and paste it into a document. So I'm just going to close this for now, go back to this, and go back to opposing viewpoints context. So again, I continue my research. I also like primary sources, so soldier in the army of God sounds pretty exciting. So I'm going to go there. Same thing. I can use the citation tool, copy and paste that into my Word document. Obviously, you want to be aware of alphabetizing them, although you could always go back and do that later, but just alphabetize that. Same thing here. Check for capitalization, things like that. Obviously, you want to save your work as you go. I'm not too worried about it now because I'm just showing this to you. So once I close that, again, I know I'm going to want to read this later. It seems like it works well. Download it to Google Drive. And there we are. So sometimes it doesn't show up right away if you go there. It usually does. There it is. So soldier in the army of God. Once again, the citation will also be at the very bottom. And their citations do come in really handy for, not for primary sources so much, but there are going to be some that are reprinted in the publications from Opposing Viewpoints and Context. So you're not going to find that on Nightsite, that type of thing where it tells you how to cite something that's been republished from the original source. So that's one of the nice things about using their citations that they give you. So again, I have all of that. Oops, that's not what I want. I have all of those in there. They're in my drive. I can access them whenever. I can read them. I can print them if I want, highlight them. Obviously, I could read them as a document there as well and go with it from there. There are similar things with ProQuest and some of the other databases, but I just wanted to focus on Opposing Viewpoints in Context because that's the one that's probably going to be the most useful for you. However, I also know that Global Issues in Context could be quite useful as well. So if you notice, you'll pretty much see the exact same thing. Let's just do a really quick one here. And we'll just grab the first one I see, Ugly Face of Unsafe Abortion. So you will see you have the same thing. You have the citation tool, gives you that. You have the download, gives you that. So it's going to be similar. It's the same Gale Cengage, so it's the same parent company for the databases. So there's some useful information. Hopefully that will help as you start your research, and I'll be around the library helping you out with anything you need. So just get my attention if you need anything. Thanks.